Seen a post that really got to me. It didn't annoy me too much, but I thought it wasn't explained properly. And as content creators, 90% of the time we're meant to be correct. There is that 10% time where we are human. None of us are perfect. But this one, I really think it needed to be explained, and that was cap-in runs. So when we're doing a V-butt weld, so a groove weld, the sequence of welds we do, how many there are, and how many do we use for the cap-in run then? Is it 1, 2 or 3? Do we weave it? Are there stringers? Is it just a one pass? Okay, so I'm going to go into that now, and I really want to explain this properly because it did annoy me, and as a content creator I want you to get the best information and I want you to learn. Okay, so let's get into it. You cannot just tell people 3 runs and that's all you need on your cap-in run and it'll fix undercut and this, that and the other. It doesn't work like that, because you could have a 5mm V-butt, an 8mm V-butt, a 15mm V-butt or 30mm V-butt. These are different sizes. The first thing you want to know, WPS, your welder specification. What does it state on there? The size of the cap-in run. Should it be weaved? Should it be stringers? Is it one pass? Second being, how many interpasses you allowed. So from your root to where you're filling it up towards the cap, you need to know how many passes you're allowed to go. Or the joint could have an interpass temperature. So what I mean by interpass temperature, as you're starting to fill it up, you may have to put preheat into it. It could be a 100mm plate V-butt. I know that's over exaggerating it a little bit, but it could be where you have to preheat it to a certain temperature, keep it at that temperature as you're welding, and if it goes over, you're going to have to stop, wait for it to cool down a little bit, check your temperature again, and then go along. The thing is, if you put too much heat into your joint, this could affect the impact value, so the strength of the joint. I'm going to go a little bit technical on you now, and you can Google it for yourself so you can learn a little bit more, because I'm no expert, but I know if you put too much heat into a joint, you're going to affect the equal axe crystals. So there's crystals within the grain structure. You want them small, okay, and compact. And what will happen is you put too much heat into your joint and they'll expand then, and you're going to have a weaker zone in your weld. And I'm going to bring you closer now so I can explain to you on the board what I'm talking about. Explain this to you, or as close as I can for you, okay? There's only one joint on here I'm not happy with, okay? I'm not happy with this one at the end, and I'll explain why at the end I'm not happy with it. But like I said, the first thing you want to check with your WPS, your welder specification, check what thickness the material is, because your interpasses, so that's from your root, these passes up until your cap-in runs, those are the passes that fill up the V-butt joint. And if it's a thin V-butt, like a 6mm V-butt, it's not going to need that many compared to a 30mm V-butt. Second, check if there's an interpass temperature, making sure that we don't go over that temperature or go under as we're welding. The next one then is when it comes to capping, okay, it could be a stringer on its own, it could be a weave, it could be multiple stringers. Check with your WPS, it will state on there, or in some cases there might be the other cases where you haven't got a WPS and it's a company where it's not so much for crucial jobs, so it's down to you. So in some cases you can go to what you believe is the correct way. Going on to our last one now. Now what will happen with our V-butts at the end when we're going for our cap-in runs, whether that be 1, 2, 3, a stringer on its own or a big weave, to stop yourself from getting undercut, you do not want to be going all the way down here from the center of the weld, okay? You want to be doing it in sequence. Similar to this one here with the 14 passes, could be over exaggerated, could be a 100mm plate. I'm just saying, if it's 3 passes, you just want it down on the bottom here, 1 in the center and 1 in the top. And a lot of the times your problem you're going to have is on this last run, whether it be flat, horizontal, vertical, overhead. Not a lot of people do overhead V-butts, they're quite hard. Going back to it, sorry, you will get undercut on your last one if you don't think about these 2 things. Leave the plate cool down a little bit. If there's an interpass temperature, get it down to that correct temperature before you fill in that last cap-in run. Or just turn down your amperage or your volts, whether it be stick welding, TIG welding or MIG-MAG welding, just turn it down a little bit to eliminate that heat extra input into the joint then, so it'll get rid of the undercut. You don't need to be putting one right in the middle, leaving it sag all the way down, because you'll have excessive weld metal in. The joint might be, the cap-in runs may be too large for the joint that you're welding. Yes, we've got away with the undercut, but it's not correct, okay? So that's exactly how you do it. So either your boss, the WPS, the welding inspector, your foreman, if you're not sure of your weld sizes, always check, because your cap and run, you need to know, is it the correct size? Am I going over on it? What's the procedure? That's all from me this evening. If you've enjoyed this video and you've taken something from this, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon to stay up to date. Take care of yourself. Stay tuned.